Mike,
So
the new technology that the $2.5 million we already approved, how does that fix, okay, the cell...
It hasn't even been started.
Okay, I'm saying, when that comes online, how does that fix the routing of the cell phones, which is the problem that you illuminated, okay?
Why wasn't it done longer? Well, there's competing radio systems. There's a state system, and then there's a county system.
Yeah, but the problem you explained to us, which is a cell phone call on you're going to say Parkway, if you live near it, it's going to get picked up by that cell phone, be routed up to Edison. That has nothing to do with our technology that's on the policeman, on the fireman's belt, okay? How does that fix the problem that you described?
By being more coordinated with the agencies that are dispatching us and that are answering those phone calls.
So basically, the new technology doesn't help that, but we're going to do better coordination.
It improves it.
Well, could you be, I mean, there's a lot of people here that are ex-Bell Labs and communication industry. We know technology. Could you put in more details exactly how that fixes the problem? Because I'll tell you, when I saw that on the report, okay, that we have a communication problem for a paid dispatcher in the police department, I'm saying there's somebody whose job is not getting done correctly here. Okay, that's kind of jumped off my page. We got a paid dispatcher. That's a paid dispatcher up in Edison. There's no excuse for this. Okay, it's not money.
That's out of our hands. That's not a township committee.
Well, it's got to be in our hands because it's our town.
I'm just going to interrupt here for 2 points. One, just in full disclosure, this gentleman is the owner of the house that got burned down at Blue Hills Drive. So he's
I understand.
condolences and so on.
I respond.
Very interested part. Second, and I don't mean to put you on the spot here, Mr. Nickolas, but I got the actual copy of the ISO report right here.
Okay.
The communications aspects of it, Homedale got 3 points out of possible 10. However, the biggest issue that they had some issue with communication, so Mr. Nickolas is correct. However, our possible 50 points for the fire department, so about half of the total points that they look at, that goes into the rating. Homedale Fire Department got 17 points out of 50. So communication is an issue, but there are other issues that the ISO rating is giving more emphasis to.
What was the date of that report?
This is the 2017.
2017, but it's 2 years ago.
This is the report they based on their downgrade, so
Okay.
it actually occurred in 2018. But
Ken, and that's the number that jumped off the page when I read it, that we got 17. Those are the numbers that jumped off the page when I read it, that we got 17 out of 50.
That's the fire department, it's not the communication. The communication is an aspect, I mentioned that earlier. It's only about 10% of the total rating. It's an issue, trust me, he's right. It's an issue that we need to raise, so I'm gonna try to get some new people, okay?
Yeah, I called 911 for this fire. I called 911 at 1:31, and they asked me. I told them there was smoke coming out of the house across the street from me. There was flames coming out, and they said, "Okay, hold on, I'll connect you with the Homedale Fire Department." They immediately connected me, so I didn't say anything. Communication problem there.
So I don't bother you waiting, I promise you the next. Okay?
On the issue of the optimum placement of the fire station in Homedale, can we ask the police chief his input on that, and what he
Fire
thinks?
chief or the police
I mean, the
chief?
fire chief, as to what he thinks is more desirable on
David,
that
do you
road?
mind being put on the spot? Do you have an opinion?
But the location, I haven't really got into it with the township committee yet with that. There will be a meeting set up for that. I'm not 100% sure what's going on with it yet. I was at that meeting that you were. It's just new to me also, so.
Okay.
I will be looking
Do you have an opinion on 1 versus 2?
One versus two.
In other words, we used to have 2, right? We have one on Centerville Road,
We have
one on Main
around
Street.
here. The one on Centerville, it's gonna have to stay open. Because most of your firefighters.
That's not what the implication when he said,
I
okay.
know that, because most of your firefighters are coming from Hazard, they're not even Homedale residents, okay? So with that, why would you take that out of service, when they can jump in that truck quicker and get to the other side quicker, instead of driving all the way up here?
So Mr. Nickolas, is it fair to assume that the Homedale chief fire sir, doesn't even know this plan that was presented? It seems like he does not that well aware
We
of
haven't
it.
seen anything, I haven't seen anything in
Yeah,
writing.
it's
You
just-
haven't seen it
I
either?
haven't seen anything in writing.
So who did this deal?
It's been, the mayor has been talking with Ralph. I haven't seen anything.
Okay.
Nothing formal.
I'm sorry, I know a lot of you have their hands up. I promise Barbara will be
So,
next in Francine.
I'm sorry about your home, but in response to what you were talking about with this ISO, I think the proof in the fact that not enough was done, that this report was suggesting, is in the fact that we were down. We didn't work with them despite their invitation to work
That's the
with
influence.
them.
Yeah, and from my perspective, I have to look at it from two different points, right? One is, I'm a resident, I'm a homeowner, and I pay my taxes here, and I pay for my insurance. And the other side is, which is a much different issue, my house burned to the ground, right? So the house burned to the ground is topical insofar as, do we have one or two? Is it volunteer or is it paid? So the communication, it's, the calls were made, there's one record of a 911 call, I know 3 were made. Middletown got there before Homedale got there, and I'm not knocking
No,
your team.
Homedale was there before any other fire company was there. Middletown's fire chief was there first because he lives down the road.
Oh, but was he in a
So I
car or
think
was he in
that
a truck?
He was in a car.
Okay.
My truck, our equipment was parked at the hydrant.
So in the FIRS report is, I'm sorry, it was a Middletown chief?
Middletown chief was there.
Was he the one that was documented in the FIRS report as first?
I
on the
haven't
scene?
seen that, so.
You haven't seen the report, or you haven't seen it was documented?
I don't know what was documented, so.
Francine?
So I just want to say that was half of what I was going to say.
Oh.
One of the purposes to get back to with FAST is because we have seen things like this where we feel we've been given a heads up and no action was taken. So one of our purposes in going forward in whichever direction we come to go forward in is to make sure it is getting done. Okay?
And to give any assistance that the township committee needs.
Right.
Francine,
Okay, I think this points out.
Louder,
Speak louder.
louder.
I think what the fire chief just said, Mayor Hines went on and made a film about going to put the firehouse in Bell Works. And our fire chief wasn't even consulted about that.
He told me something, he hasn't consulted me where it was going. I knew you were talking about the fire.
Okay.
But I have